Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to rank the NBA teams of the 2020 season before Corona from D, C, B, A, and S. S is the best, D is the worst. So now starting off, we have the Atlanta Hawks. I'm going to put them in the B tier because they haven't been bad, they haven't been great, they've just been good. They're the youngest team in the NBA, and they have Trae Young, who I think is going to be a future star. I think this team has a great future ahead of them. Next up is the Wizards. I'm also going to put them in B because they have Bradley Beal, and he's just been going off. He's been doing amazing this season, and there's not much I have to say. He's just good. Next up, we have the 76ers, who I'm also going to put in the B tier because they have Ben Simmons, who's one of the best young stars in the NBA, and they also have Joel Embiid, who's one of the best centers in the NBA right now, and I think that he'll be great in the future. Next up is the Pacers. I'm going to put them in C because they just haven't been great this season. Again, just like the Hawks, they haven't been bad, they haven't been great, they've just been good. So, yeah, I just think that they'll be really good in future seasons. Next up is the Pistons. They are going to the C tier because they haven't been playing their best, but they're still good. They're good. Next up is the Cavs. They're just terrible. Nothing else I have to say, just terrible. They have Kevin Love, Colin Sexton. They're a very young team, but they're still good, and that's all I have to say. Next up is the Bucks. That's our first S tier team. They've just been amazing. They have Giannis going off. He's in his prime right now. He's still young. We don't know when his prime will be. Next up is the Raptors. I'm going to put them in A because before Corona, they were one of the top tier teams behind the Bucks. They've just been great, and they're good. And next up, we have the Mavericks, who I'm also going to put in A because they have Luka Doncic, who's just been amazing. He is the best young star in the NBA right now, and he has a great future ahead of him. Next up is the Nuggets. I'm going to put them in B because they have Jokic, who is one of the best centers in the NBA behind Joel Embiid, and he's also very young, so they have a great future ahead of them. I think this team is going places. And then next up, we have the Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies. They have not been bad or great. They've just been good. They have another one of the young stars, John Morant, who, like Luka Doncic, is going places. I'm sure of it. And I can't wait to see what this team is going to do in the future. Next up, we have the Timberwolves. So in the 2020 season, they were in a hump. They just have not been doing good. But then after the D'Angelo Russell trade, they've been amazing. Now they're one of the top tier teams, and that trade was definitely a win for the Timberwolves. And that's all I have to say. They're just a good team, and they have a bright future like lots of other teams. And then next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs, who I'm going to put in the C tier because they haven't been great, they haven't been bad, they're just good. I don't have a lot to say about them. They're just good. And then next up, we have the Utah Jazz. When you look at their players, you don't expect them to be as good as they were in the 2020 season. They have Rudy Gobert, who is great on defense, and they have also lots of offense, which is good, I guess. They've just been way better than we expected. And then next up is the Clippers, who are also really good. They have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Who's going to stop that? That's one of the best defensive duos I have ever heard, and this is amazing. Next up, we have the Suns. I'm going to put them in B because they have Devin Booker, who's one of the other best young stars in the NBA. And that team is the youngest team in the NBA, so that's why I'm sure they are going places and they are going to do something amazing, maybe even win a championship. Then next up, we have the Trailblazers. They have Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, who are great. But Hassan Whiteside has not been playing good this season. That's why they're not as good as expected. That's why I'm putting them in the B tier. And then next up, we have the Kings. I'm going to put them in C because De'Aaron Fox is one of the fastest players in the NBA. but their coach is just not letting him do what he does. So they just haven't been as good as we expected this season. When you look at their players, you expect them to be great, but they just haven't. Then next up is the Knicks. They are a D-tier team. They just haven't been good. They have bad players. They're just bad in general. I really don't have much to say about this team, except Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle are carrying that team, and there's no other players that are helping them. Those two players need help, but I bet in the future they're going to be great. Then next up, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. They have Drew Holiday, which is great defensively, and he has been playing amazing. But besides that, this team has been unexpectedly terrible. They just haven't been playing up to their potential and just not good. Then next up, we have the Hornets. They were one of the worst teams in the NBA. They're just terrible. They haven't won a championship in so long. They haven't been in the playoffs for so long. They haven't been in the finals for so long. They just haven't been good these past few years. And then next up, we have the Rockets. I'm going to put them in the A tier because they have James Harden and Russell Westbrook, but no one else. I bet if they had help, they would definitely be in the S tier. But James Harden and Russell Westbrook are in their prime. So I'm going to put them in the A tier because of that, and they've just been playing amazing. Then next up, we have the Miami Heat. I'm going to put them in the C tier. There's not much I have to say. They just have Jimmy Butler. They have Bam Adebayo, who was an all-star. And they have Goran Dragic. They just have a very well-rounded team, and this team is going places. Next up, we have the Chicago Bulls. Listen, Jim Boylen is the worst coach I've ever seen. He's just terrible. I have nothing to say. The Chicago Bulls need help, and Jim Boylen is not giving them that help. Fire Jim Boylen, get a new coach, and hopefully, just hopefully, this team can make the playoffs again. Let's cross our fingers that Jim Boylen gets fired, because he's just been coaching terrible. Definitely the worst coach in the NBA. And then next up, we have the Brooklyn Nets. They have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. So next season, I think they're going to be great. And I know what you're thinking, but why not this season? Why have they been bad this season? They have not been bad, but Kevin Durant is injured. So Kyrie and Spencer Dinwiddie have been carrying this team, and they've been doing a great job doing so. Kyrie Irving and Spencer Dinwiddie have been playing amazing. Same with Jarrett Allen. They've just been carrying this team on their backs the whole season before Corona, and they've just been doing their job. And I expect NBA players to do their job, and not all of them have, but the Brooklyn Nets players have. Okay, so in this we have the Golden State Warriors, and they're the worst team in the NBA, just without a doubt. Next season they're gonna be back because they will have Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Andrew Wiggins. But before Corona, Klay Thompson was injured, Steph Curry was injured, Kevin Durant was injured and traded or signed. It's just been terrible. And I just have nothing else to say. They've just been bad. Next up is the Celtics. They've been unexpectedly better. They have Kemba Walker, who's just been amazing. And they also have Jason Tatum, who's a great young star. Then we have the Lakers. LeBron James and AD. Both top 5 NBA players right now. There's not much I have to say. They're just amazing. And next up, we have the Orlando Magic. They've just been good. They haven't been bad. They haven't been great. Like I said, for lots of teams, they're just good. They have Markelle Fultz, who is a young star. And they also have Vucevic. And I just think that this team will be very great in the future. And that's it. We went from D to F. All of these teams have been good, and some of them have been bad, but I'm sure some teams will get better in the future and some teams will get worse. Guys, that's all we have for today. Remember to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.